Hello! Today I'm sharing the best makeup of 2022 so far. We're a little more than halfway through the year, and I have what I think are the best of the best makeup products out of all the makeup I've tried and tested so far this year, which is quite a bit. I had a hard time narrowing this down to just these products. I've really enjoyed watching these mid-year review, mid-year best of the best videos on other channels, but I've never done one before. This is my first one. I always do them at the end of the year for not just makeup, skincare, hair care, lifestyle, all types of products. But this has actually been a really good way to narrow it down, figure out what really stands out over other products. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, and let's get into these makeup products that I am loving so far the most in 2022. I'll start with foundation. I test out foundations, concealers, powders, primers, face products regularly here on my channel because as we get older, it gets harder and harder to find truly flattering products that are appropriate for our particular skin type and wear well throughout the day. And because I test out a lot of foundations and do regular foundation roundups here on my channel, which I will have linked down below, by the way, and up in a card, I'll also have all the products I'm talking about in today's video down in the description box, as well as any relevant videos where I've gone more in depth with reviews or descriptions, or maybe I've showed some in-depth application. That way you can check that out after this video is over. It was really hard to narrow it down to just 3 foundations. I tried quite a few good ones this year, but I did narrow it down. The first one I want to share is Makeup Forever HD Skin. This is actually what's on my face today, and it's been on my face for almost 7 hours. I've been running around in heat and humidity, and I actually haven't even blotted my face. I just wanted to sit down and start filming and kind of get through this segment before touching it up or blotting or anything like that. I think this is a great foundation for all skin types. I find it provides a natural matte finish, which for me means it works well on all areas of my face. I have combination oily skin. I get oily, shiny in my T-zone, even more so this time of year when it's really hot and humid here in New Orleans, but the perimeter of my face can be normal or dry. This gives medium to medium full coverage, and it blurs my pores and looks really natural, and it's hydrating. This feels really nice on my face, and it lasts really well throughout the day, even in heat and humidity. The shade I have is 2N22. I have just found this to be a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting as much from this as I got. It's basically a standout anytime, any place, any occasion foundation that's been living on my vanity. This next foundation was a complete surprise for me because I don't typically do very well with balm type products for whatever reason. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Balm. I am in the shade Light 20, and this is on the screen because we're packing to move in about 3 weeks, and some things that I didn't realize I was going to need to film with ended up being packed. So I can't really get to them right now. This balm isn't really like other balms that I've tried. It applies so beautifully and elegantly on my skin. They say it's skincare with foundation-like coverage. I would say it gives beautiful sheer skin evening coverage. It's lightweight yet hydrates at the same time and gives a beautiful skin-like natural finish that just evens everything out and just gives you that your skin but better look. Doesn't accentuate pores, it doesn't really hide them either. Your skin just looks healthy. And this actually wears pretty well throughout the day. When I get shiny, I don't get greasy. This is a balm formula I was just pleasantly surprised with, plus it's at a great price point. This is another product I wasn't expecting much from but got so much out of. I am in serious love with Tarte Shape Tape Cloud Coverage, and I feel like it's extremely underrated. I also love the packaging. I just love a lightweight, travel-friendly pump. This has the tape technology of the Shape Tape line that's supposed to smooth and blur any imperfections and kind of airbrush your skin. It does just that. It gives my skin this soft focus, natural matte finish. It blurs pores beautifully and keeps me shine-free, but not flat. It doesn't give me that flat matte look. It's hydrating and extremely lightweight. This gives, in contrast to the Makeup Forever product, light to medium coverage. I love the way this wears. It's extremely flattering and it feels good. Moving forward with primers, I had a hard time narrowing a lot of these categories down because I tried a lot of good products this year, so it was really, really difficult for me to choose which one I wanted to put in this video because I love a lot of them. So if I'm not mentioning a product in this video that I've talked about before, it doesn't mean I don't like like that product? I do. I just was extremely cutthroat in this video for most of the categories. Primers is one of them. I narrowed it down to one, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. So the Milk Makeup Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer is one of a few that I really enjoyed this year. It's got this kind of watery, creamy consistency that absorbs into my skin almost like a lotion. I enjoy that because a lot of mattifying, blurring primers can make your skin feel kind of dry and tight. And if you're someone like me who gets shiny kind of in the middle in your T-zone, but you are more normal around the perimeter, it's just easier to deal with this type of primer if you have different things going on your face. I can't handle something that's going to make me feel dry and tight around the perimeter, and I don't always want to just keep it localized to one area. It sinks right in. It's lightweight. I can't feel it. It's got skincare benefits in it. It does blur and smooth and control my shine. I have mentioned other primers that I love that I've tried this year. I actually ended up choosing the Milk Makeup Primer for this video because of the two size options. There's a full size if you want to go all in, or you can choose the mini if you're not quite sure. I like being able to give you that option because we don't always know what's going to work and what's not. And that was literally how I narrowed down which primer to put in this video, because I really did love all the ones I tried that I loved pretty equally otherwise for different reasons, but Milk Makeup made the cut for my mid-year best of the best. I love a good under eye corrector to counterbalance the dark circles under my eyes, to add a little brightness, and to help me wear a little bit less concealer, which in turn looks a little less cakey. Corrector can make a big difference if you haven't tried it before. Sometimes we double layer concealer and it just doesn't quite give the same effect, but I digress. The one corrector that I've worn more than any of the other good ones that I tried so far in 2022 is the Bobbi Brown Skin Corrector Stick in the shade Bisque. I have light, medium, neutral leaning warm skin, and the peachy tone of this and the depth level is perfect for me. Sometimes I swipe this on directly from the stick. Sometimes I use the warmth of my fingers to tap it right where I have darkness, not as liberally as I would apply concealer. It's creamy, it's long lasting, it wears beautifully alone or underneath concealer. This has been a huge hit for me this year. I feel like I've shared my concealer pick so many times already, but I really do love the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. This is one of the most skin-like, hydrating under eye concealers I've ever tried from the drugstore. Now, I will say this does not provide quite as much coverage as the Dior, which is not full coverage. I would say this gives light to light medium coverage depending on whether or not you're wearing a corrector under it. It's got a very liquidy consistency, so sometimes I'll let it sit for a little bit before I tap it out, and that helps with coverage, but I love this so much. The price is great. It's amazingly flattering. It wears well throughout the day. There was no question what my concealer pick was going to be for this video. I have two powders that are pretty different from each other. So the first is the 2-in-1 SheGlam Insta Ready Face and Under Eye Setting Powder Duo. I just recently talked about this in a couple of videos. This has a brightening under eye powder in the top with a mirror. You can apply it with a brush or with a sponge. So that's in the lid. Then you unscrew the lid and you've got your loose setting powder in the bottom. So yes, the packaging is great and it's innovative, but the quality is really great. I was about to say for the price, but the quality is fantastic regardless. I would pay more for this powder is basically what I'm trying to say. I also think it's great that it's got the little twisty sealer thing on here. That's the technical term, by the way, in case you're wondering. There are different shades available. The shade I have is Bisque. The powder is very finely milled. It sets my makeup beautifully, blurs my pores, but it doesn't look like powder. This under eye powder is a close second to my Pat McGrath powder. That is how much I love this under eye powder. It's very, very finely milled. It looks white right now, but when you massage it in, I mean, it just disappears. It doesn't look like powder under my eyes, which is something I look for in an under eye setting powder. This is a win. The other powder I want to mention I absolutely love is the Givenchy Prism Libre powder. I don't think there's a person that has tried this that has not raved about it, no matter what their skin type. So this basically has 4 different shades of powder. You shake them into the lid, kind of mix them around and apply it to your face. You can use it to set your face or as a finishing powder. You can get different shades for different types of finishes or different skin tones. It basically brightens my skin, airbrushes it, minimizes the look of pores, and gives kind of a soft focus effect to my skin. And I think that's why it works really well, no matter if I'm using it as a setting powder or as a finishing powder like I just did. It just adds a little something. It's very finely milled, it's comfortable, so it's great for all skin types because it doesn't make you look dry. This is a luxurious powder that for me has been worth every penny. If you're a regular viewer of mine, you probably know I have a soft spot for blush, so this category was a little difficult for me to narrow down. So I do have a few more in this category than others because I discovered some really great blushes this year, starting with stick formulas. I did narrow it down to 2 stick formulas. I'm going to keep some of these pretty short because I just talked about them recently in some other videos. I will link those down below. And of course, any video where I've talked about these products before that I'm sharing in today's video. So the first stick formula is this one from Huda Beauty. This really surprised me. Number one, because it's got almost what looks like an iridescence to it. So I at first thought I really wasn't gonna like it. You can see it here swatched on the back of my hand. It really just gives it a radiance, a luminosity. This blends out very easily and just gives a beautiful lit from within glow. I would say all of my blush picks in today's video give a lit from within glow, but in different ways. I love this shade. I love the formula. It blends out. It wears really well throughout the day, and it's just flattering. I never would have guessed that from the shine on the stick, but this is one of my favorite blushes to reach for. Next, we have the new blush multi-stick launch from Persona. I just shared these in my June monthly favorites and fails, so I'll keep this really short. There are 3 shades. This one is Bubble, and we have Teddy and Kiss. And here we have Kiss, Bubble, and Teddy on the back of my hand. These glide on and blend out like a dream, and these leave more of a dewy natural finish rather than a luminous natural finish, but they dry down, so you're not left with anything sticky. This and the Huda Beauty apply beautifully over bare skin, foundation, or on top of powder and wear really well throughout the day. Another fantastic launch from Persona, just like the new shade that Persona came out with this year in powder form, Bubble. So this is the powder form of the stick shade you just saw in Bubble, and here it is on the back of my hand. This actually came out earlier this year, whereas the stick shade, which is here, came out very recently. I think this powder shade was such a surprise hit for so many people that she just automatically put it in stick form. That's just a guess, but I mean, this is such a beautiful, natural, flattering shade that truly surprised me. It looks like it's going to be this obnoxious pink. I mean, you can see I just didn't even tap off my brush, and it just gives such a beautiful flush of color. I mean, you can of course go heavier handed than that. I just kind of wanted to keep it light because I may put something else over it. For natural everyday looks, no makeup looks, this is such a great launch this year that I've been loving so much. Bare Minerals launched a new product this year that has gone kind of viral. I know a lot of you have been wondering about it. Is it worth it? Is it not? I covered this, I don't know what video it was. I'll again link it down below. This is Kiss of Copper and this is Kiss of Pink. These look like they're going to be over the top shimmery. I really wasn't expecting to like these. I thought they might emphasize some, things I don't really want emphasized around this area, but they don't. These are great if you want to apply blush kind of across your cheek, your forehead, your nose to give a sun-kissed look. So here we have Kiss of Copper and here we have Kiss of Pink, and you can see that there's just not over the top shimmer here. I dusted a bit of Kiss of Pink on this side of my face and then decided to even out the tone where I had put the Persona and just dust a little across my nose, but there's nothing over the top too shimmery. These are very flattering. It's a great all-in-one type of product. The name Bronzer is kind of perfect. It gives you that bronzed blush look that's perfect for summertime. I've really been enjoying these. Now, Benefit just launched new blushes that I think are fantastic. I just talked about these in my June favorite, so I'm going to keep this quick. I have the shade Shelly. This packaging is really dreamy. They've actually gone a little slimmer too, which I love. This is called Shelly. It's just this really pretty peachy coral shade. I would say it's a little more peachy than coral. You can see there's a little bit of a sheen here, and this is what it looks like on the back of my hand. Again, it's just really flattering. It wears very well. This formula is superb, so I would definitely not hesitate to check this out. I love all these blush formulas. 3 powders and 2 sticks. That's not too bad, right? I have both a powder and a cream bronzer to share with you today that I've been loving in 2022. I'll talk about the powder first. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Bronzer. I and many others have raved about this pretty heavily. I actually compared the texture of this to the Charlotte Tilbury powder bronzer in my last dupes video, I think. I mean, look at how that just glides on. It's not dusty. It doesn't go on patchy. The shade I have is medium. It works perfectly for my light medium skin tone. It's really flattering, and it does in fact last all day, even in my hot and humid weather, even if I get a little sweaty, because it's waterproof. I love a good drugstore bronzer, even better if it lasts through sweat, heat, and humidity. I'm actually not quite sure how my cream bronzer ended up packed for our move already, because I've been reaching for it pretty regularly. I think it got put in the wrong box when I was cleaning up after filming one day. I don't know. Anyway, my favorite so far this year cream bronzer is the new Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like that's not going to come as a surprise. Most people that have tried this have enjoyed it. I have the shade medium. It works perfectly for me. Again, I feel like I keep saying glides on beautifully, blends out perfectly, and just gives such a natural look, a natural finish to the skin. I love how it looks over my bare skin. I love that I can apply it over my foundation and it doesn't disturb my foundation underneath. It wears beautifully during the day, and that's really all you can ask for in a cream bronzer. I have 2 face palettes to share. One is cream and one is powder. Now, I'm not sure if this cream face palette launched this year, but I discovered it this year. This is the Tarte Breezy Cream Blush and Bronzer Palette. I have loved the Tarte Breezy Bronzer Blush formula since they launched them. I think they're fantastic, so foolproof, easy to use, they wear beautifully, and they're just flattering. And they came out with this palette, which I also think is foolproof, beautiful, portable, all the things I want in a face palette. I love that I can just dip my brush in it. I don't have to worry about the pan size. I can just go right in and apply it. So we have Seychelles Bronzer, we have Pink Sky Blush, and Peach Paradise. Sometimes I just take my brush and toggle it back and forth between both. Sometimes I use one or the other. It's also got a nice sized mirror. If they have this brush in stock, I will link it because I love this brush. The last time I tried to link this though, it was out of stock. I feel like it comes and goes because it's pretty popular, but it's really handy, not just for the Tarte cream bronzer and blush products, but just for any. That's just a side note. This is really the product. I've been loving this in 2022 and using it a lot. Now, I didn't think I was going to be able to include the NARS Afterglow Cheek Palette in this video because it's supposed to be limited edition, but I'm still able to find it, at least right now, so I was really excited because this is one of my favorite cheek palettes, blush palettes of all time. I just think it's beautiful. You have such a variety for all skin tones, plus a highlighter. It's flattering, it wears well. I just love the variety of looks that I can get with this palette. This shade right here, I didn't think I was going to get much from, but it does actually show up, and this shade is stunningly beautiful, at least on my skin tone. It shows up a little bit brighter than it does in the pan. I think everyone can benefit from a reddish, kind of orangey reddish shade. It just gives such a beautiful natural flush. If you want a true all-round good face palette that's flattering, the quality's there, I would grab this while you can. I'm hoping, I'm wishing they'll make this permanent, but they probably won't. It's just so good. Now, I could have mentioned the new single bronzers, blushes, and highlighters that Sigma launched this year because honestly, all of them are beautiful. The quality is great. I love Sigma makeup. I've said it 1,000 times on my channel. I think it's highly underrated, but I decided to just talk about the highlighters. I I have those pictured here because I accidentally packed them up already. I was really excited when I saw that they came out with these new singles, and then even more excited after I tried them because the quality is amazing. These highlighters in particular give you that sheen without glitter. They're just stunningly beautiful highlighters, and there are quite a few shades to choose from. If you're wanting to pick them up, I do have a Sigma code still, and my brush set that I did in collaboration with Sigma, by the way, is still on their website if you want to check that out too. I always forget to share that, and I still use each of those brushes in my daily life. Clearly not discoveries from 2022, but that set is still available on Sigma's website. I've tried a lot of really great eyeshadow palettes so far in 2022, so in order to narrow them down, I decided just to focus on the ones that I reach for day to day when I'm doing my makeup just on an everyday basis. Now, even though I'm pretty much a neutrals girl for the most part, I mean, my channel is Everyday Beauty Made Easy. I focus a lot on neutral looks that pretty much anyone can do and wear for any occasion. I still mess around with colorful looks. I don't stick to neutrals all the time. However, lately, I've been keeping it really easy and effortless. And a lot of days, like today, I've been sticking to matte looks. So I have been reaching for ColourPop Gone Matte quite a bit. I love this palette because it gives me everything I need to get an eye look from start to finish. I can keep it completely simple and only do eyeliner, or I can highlight my brow bone, do something just in my transition. I can go dramatic if I want, or just keep it pretty easy. The quality is really nice. This is actually all I have on my eyes today. I mean, this is a pretty boring look I have on today, but it's just an easy throw on and go palette that is versatile. I can do cool, neutral, or warm looks as well. And the price is great for the size of that palette as well. The other one that's also going to look pretty boring, but I mean, it's a useful palette. I love useful neutral palettes. Some of you probably pinpointed this was going to be in this video because I have talked about this several times. This is the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette. It's pretty slim, which I like. This has been out for quite some time, but I just discovered it this year. I hesitated, I didn't try it for the longest time, and now I regret that because I reach for this a lot. Again, I can take an eye look from beginning to end. It has everything I need for dramatic or simple looks. This is more of a neutral warm palette that has shimmers, which allows me to do kind of a one and done look with just eyeliner if I want to as well. I am really glad that I finally tried this. I had no idea how much I was actually going to use this on a day-to-day basis. Now, if I wasn't streamlining this video so much, I probably would have had about 5 eyeshadow palettes, but I was really cutthroat in this category. Now, I just mentioned a one and done eye look with that last eyeshadow palette, so I'm sticking with eyes here for a second because I do want to share how much I've thoroughly enjoyed the new IT Cosmetics Superhero No Tug eyeshadow sticks that they launched earlier this year in 2022. I love a good eyeshadow stick, cream eyeshadow, liquid eyeshadow, anything that I can get a quick one and done eyeshadow look. This is on the screen because this is another product that's packed up for our move. This formula is beautiful because it allows you to blend it out and it stays flattering during the day. If you're someone who's a little worried about cream or liquid formulas kind of drying and crinkling up on your eyelids, for me, this does not do that. And these are bulletproof all day long, even without eyeshadow primer, even in sweat, heat, and humidity. They have mattes, they have shimmers. I've been really impressed with this launch. I was actually really mad at myself for packing these up because I went to go find one to use it the other day and realized I already packed them. The IT Brow Power Micro Brow Pencil has been such a hit for me this year so far in 2022. I didn't think anything was going to replace my current favorite brow pencil, but this did. It replaced it so much that I've run out. This is gone. I can't get any more up. I've been trying to use up some other brow products in the meantime before I purchased another one, but I'm having a really hard time being without it. I used it all the time. The shade Universal Taupe is perfect for me. It's not waxy, so I don't have to press too hard to get pigment, and it's got that really skinny small dash shape, so it creates that brow hair look really effortlessly. The strokes are thin, so it looks more natural than a fatter pencil, and because it's a dash, it's quicker than using a round tip fine pencil. I've really enjoyed this. I'm definitely going to replace it. I was really sad when I realized that it was gone. I just blotted off my lip product so that I could put on this lip pencil. I've been loving this shade. I just discovered it recently. It's Makeup by Mario in Smoky Pink. Now, at the end of 2021, it may have been in the fall, I was raving about the shade Hue, how it was the perfect kind of pale pink neutral My Lips But Better shade that replaced MAC Subculture. Not that Subculture's gone, it's just a less dry formula. It's creamier and is just flattering if you have some lip lines or if your lips are dry. I just like this formula better. But Hue has gone viral since then and you can't find it anymore. I tried to restock it and couldn't, so I decided to try Smoky Pink, which is what's on my lips now. I would say this is more of a natural Lips But Better shade. So in a way, Hue being out of stock was kind of a blessing because I was able to discover this shade that I probably wouldn't have otherwise. This formula glides on easily. It's very creamy. I like to line and fill in my lips with it because it helps my lip products last longer during the day. I also find them to be pretty flattering. They don't make my lips look drier, so if I just want to apply just a little bit of balm, they look good like that too. I've been reaching for this almost daily. It's become one of my favorite My Lips But Better nude neutral lip pencils. I'm starting to feel like a broken record when it comes to the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip line. I think I have like 7 or 8 of the original Maracuja Juicy Lip. Honestly, it doesn't matter what shade you get. These are absolutely phenomenal for giving you some pigment, hydration, nourishment, and just flattering your lips. It's just not a chore to apply these because they just feel so good. But I think I started raving about these in 2021. 2022 is when Tarte expanded the line to include the Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. The shade that I just applied is Peachy Beige. I also have the shade Primrose that I've applied in other videos. Again, I don't think it matters what shade you get. These have kind of a minty feel to them versus a tingle or a burn that some lip plumpers give. It feels good and kind of cooling. I definitely see a difference with the plumping of my lip lines. I would say these do the same thing that these do, but they give a little bit more pigment, a little bit more fullness, and they might last a little bit longer too. I love both formulas. I have them stashed in every bag, on every surface. I'm constantly applying these and raving about them, so I won't belabor the point. If you haven't tried them, you need to. Now, one thing to note, don't just go in hard like you normally would a lipstick. These are kind of a softer formula. You don't need a lot of pressure to get something from it. I could not do this best makeup of 2022 so far video without mentioning these Wet n Wild Mega Slicks lip glosses. I think I shared these in one of my recent Amazon videos, maybe my last one. I'll link it down below. I still cannot get over how good these are for less than $3. The formula feels high end. These have hyaluronic acid, peptides, vitamin E, all kinds of good ingredients that give maximum shine, nourishment, hydration, and a decent amount of pigment. I love all 3 shades I have, but my favorite shade is Bronzed Berry. It's the one that I seem to be wearing or want to apply when I'm sharing these with you. I just love that it has a little bit of a sheen to it. It almost looks like it's going to be metallic, but I mean, it's just beautiful. This was another surprise product for me. I can't get over how great they are. These seem way more expensive than they are. The quality is here. I would definitely not sleep on these. Now you can see more products that I've loved this year in my monthly favorites playlist. With all of my monthly favorites videos from January to June, I've discovered a lot of great products in 2022. I'd love to hear some of your favorite discoveries so far in 2022 in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!